Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and yeah, I got some viewer comments and questions right here. So let's get right into it. Andrew Beaver wanted to know: am I going to review The Witch? Absolutely. It's funny because it was like the most hyped up, anticipated movie to come out, and when it came out, it got great reviews from like critics, and a lot of the fans liked it. But I'm also hearing like that group of fans that just fucking hated it for whatever reason. I haven't heard a single review from anybody. I'm just kind of like skimming headlines, but I was like, really? So I'm going to judge for myself. I don't want to hear a single thing, so I will eventually watch it. And yes, I'll be busting out the review. So, Mr. Dogtown Man. First, you want to know, could I review Slaughterhouse? Which Slaughterhouse are you talking about? Because I was initially thinking the 87 slasher Slaughterhouse. But then when I started thinking about it, I was like, well, shit, there could be more. And then sure enough, there's like 5 different movies that could possibly be the one you're talking about. So just hit me up with like the year it came out. And yes, I will jump right on it. So he also wanted to know, what's my favorite slasher? I don't know if you meant slasher movie or, I guess, killer. Actually, it's the same. It's Michael Myers and Halloween 1, so that's it right there. Yeah, Halloween, like my favorite horror movie, period. Like not just slasher, but just horror in general. Fucking awesome. What's my favorite wrestling pay-per-view? Man, my 2 favorite pay-per-views, and not necessarily like a single one, I'll narrow that down, but has always been the Royal Rumble and the Survivor Series, the classic Survivor Series. When every match on the card was an elimination match. I loved it. They just took everybody and put them in teams and made them fight against each other. It was great. And then they got away from it, and it just became, like there's nothing memorable about Survivor Series anymore. And then they did bring it back for a little bit where, they'd have 1 or 2 matches on the card that's, all elimination. But my favorite one, man, the one that comes to mind, just whenever I read this question the first time around, it came to mind then, and I was like, well, I'll think on some more, and maybe something else pop up. But the one that comes to mind for me, for some reason, is Survivor Series 1990, which is probably best known as The Undertaker's debut. But it's not what I liked about it. I mean, that was cool too, but the main thing I liked about it was you had 5 matches, and it was all 4 against 4 elimination matches. But then what they did was they had this big grand finale match at the end, where they had all the face, like the face survivors against the heel survivors, and it was fucking awesome. Like I don't know, there's something about that card, top bomb, is just great. Hogan, Warrior, they teamed up at the end. They were on the face side along with Tito Santana, and it was just like the oddest group of heels. I mean, I guess not really odd, but just like. Clearly, you just knew who was jobbing out on this one because they went up against like Paul Roma, Hercules, the Warlord, which I love the Warlord, but let's face it, career-wise, he didn't do much. I mean, he was destined to lose every time he got in the ring. So I mean, it was just a great card. It is also known as the not only was the Undertaker the one who debuted, but the Gobbledygooker, which did not go over at all. But yeah, I'm gonna say Survivor Series 1990, probably my favorite. WWE, WWF pay-per-view. Wrestling pay-per-view in general. But there's I'm a big fan of like the early Rumbles. Like 92 is probably my favorite Rumble. In fact, actually, like 90, 91, 92, I think are all 3 just solid Rumbles. 94 is really good too. Like I've really done. I even like the ending, like the, Luger and Hart going over at the same time. 98 was really good when Stone Cold won. Even 99. A lot of people didn't like 99, but I thought 99 was really good as well. So I don't know, but I'm a big Rumble fan, so I mean, it's hard to really disappoint me on a Rumble. And finally, he wants to know if I could show the 666. The reason I'm saying no right now, at least this way, is like I work. If I was filthy rich and didn't have a job, dude, the head would just be shaved like nonstop. Cause I love the reaction I get from people. I just go in like random places and they look at you first, like in the eyes, and they're all like cheerful and happy. And then like when you tilt your head a little bit, they look at it and they get all quiet and they just look down. And they just want you to hurry up and leave. And it's I love it. I fucking love it. But yeah, I work and I almost got fired over the tattoo once. Like that literally happened. I was almost just shit canned right then and there. I had to wear a bandana or a hat. And I got a new job now, so like I don't even know how to approach that subject without automatically being alienated, and probably shit can't do, because there's a lot of hardcore Christians in this warehouse I work at. And I've yet to really release the real Phantom on these people, so yeah, they'll just freak out. However, what I will do for you is I will drop a video down below, or the link to the video, and it'll be the video where we were at Days of the Dead, like 3 years ago. Anyways, yeah, but I had my head shaved for that whole thing. So you'll definitely, and I showed off the camera and everything else, so I will post that shit down below for you, my man. So, thank you. Oh, man. SLE top 10 of everything. Just a mouthful right there. Insert joke there. Anyways, he wants to know, what is the scariest moment from a horror movie for me? Man. To me, like, 3 scenes stand out as far as, like, literally just me being scared watching a movie. Now, I'm not talking just like quick jump scare or anything like that, because I'm not gonna lie, I jump a lot. Like, you know, if I watch Insidious, I will jump like 2 or 3 times. Like, not now, but when I first watched it, boom, I'm like, oh. But, you know, it doesn't, I wouldn't say I'm scared of it, but I will say the 3 times where I was literally, like, fear, like, holy shit, I would say, and it's hard to just narrow it down, because I was different ages, you know, when you're a different age, it's scary. I will say early on, The Shining, just those 2 twin girls at the end of the hallway. Dude, scared the fuck out of me. Like, fucking scared the shit out of me. It was horrifying. And, oh, no, don't want to talk with it. So I'm going to say that's one of them. Later on, Pet Sematary. And that whole movie I thought was just creepy as fuck. Like, I still do, actually. But, like, especially when I'm a kid, I just thought it was scary as shit. But the one thing that freaked me out the most was when she goes back into that back room and her sister Zelda's there. And she's all fucking twisted up, and then she starts coming at the camera. Dude, like, scared shitless. And I want to say the most recent one where I actually thought was like, I was literally freaked out, probably The Ring. I watched it when it came out when I was in high school, and I'll say The Ring. I think that was another movie that just really kind of freaked me out a bit. Particular moments, I mean, the one jump scare was very effective. Early on when she's explaining, you know, they found her in the closet, and then just cuts. Like, you know, this loud screeching noise, and the fucking closet opens, and she's all like this, and then her head just falls or whatever. Yeah, scary as shit. I'll say, just, it was more subtle things. Like, when you watch that movie, the first couple times you see the video, and it ends with the well, and then you sort of see the ring, and it ends. But then whenever her son's watching it, for a split second, if you're watching it, you can see her head peek out of that well. Like, she's coming out, and then it ring cuts off. And, dude, something about that just really freaked me out when I watched it back in the day. So those are my 3 right there. Like I said, those are 3 different age groups there, but you asked what I thought was the scariest horror movie moment, and that's what I'm throwing at you right there, my man. Hey, thank you very much. So I reviewed H2O last week, and, 2 weeks ago, sorry. And, got a lot of people talking about H2O on this one. Random Ross, he brought up a really cool point, because I kind of did the same thing. Because, as you know, H2O kind of picks up after part 2. You got 1, 2, and then H2O. They kind of eliminated the middle 3. Or middle 4 if you want to say 3, but whatever. It gets rid of all that shit. Or not, I won't say all that shit, I love those movies. But it got rid of them all. And he said when he watched it, he kind of always just assumed, like, she faked her death to protect her daughter, and then she, went ahead. And I remember when I first started watching it, because I watched it in theaters, I kind of did think, like, well, maybe that's what they're doing, because I didn't realize they were completely glossing over the whole thing, and I was like, well, maybe that's what she did. But then just, you realize pretty quickly, like, no, if she did, like, if they did make that, like, that's the connection. Like, they literally say, like, you know what, it's all canon, it all happened, and she did, in fact, just fake her own death to protect her daughter. It's like, yeah, she would have kept tabs on her. At some point, obsessed as she was about, her serial killer brother, she would have been like, I gotta, keep tabs on her. And the fact that she's so protective of her son, I don't see her just pushing the daughter out of the way just to protect her, But yeah, no, I thought it was an interesting point, because I kind of thought the same thing, actually. When I first watched it, I was like, maybe that's what they're doing, but nah. It kicks them out. It kicks them out. That's why Halloween just isn't the greatest series in terms of, like, continuity. the flow is just it breaks up too much. So, and then speaking of H2O, Todd, all things horror, he said he was not a fan, found it very boring. But he did like Near Dark. Thought it was awesome, which was the complete opposite of my review because I was just like, I really love H2O, but Near Dark was horrible. So I thought that was very interesting right there because we're all entitled to our own opinions, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of Near Dark. Couldn't do it. Kelly Benton said H2O was actually her favorite, or one of her favorite movies, and not just from the Halloween, or just in general, one of her favorite movies. So yeah. Yes. So last week I answered 13 Wolfman's question. He did soundtrack of your life, and he said, yeah, really nice soundtrack, and he liked it, but he had to look up Christina Perri. That was the only thing he had to look up, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm sure a lot of people did, but I have that in there for sentimental reasons. That's mine and my song, so that's why it's in there. It is kind of the oddball, track though, because the rest of it's punk or metal or whatever, and then you got this kind of sweet ballad, right there. So, All Hallows Haunts. I have horrible handwriting, people. I'm so sorry. All Hallows Haunts. God damn it! I'm gonna do this one last time. Take 3. All Hallows Haunts. Wanted to thank him for a follow. I followed him on Twitter. You're welcome. You're welcome, my man. And then Torture Vision says that they hope that Death Race 2050 will be more reminiscent of the original Death Race and not the Death Race movie that came out, with Jason Statham and them. Which I actually haven't seen any of them. I do plan on watching because I'm very curious. I'll probably skip the Jason Statham remake trilogy or however many they made. But I definitely want to watch the original Death Race 2000. So. And finally, I reviewed Saul this past week, and Robert Harding said he kind of felt the same way I did about Part 3 and Part 4. That's the 2 I reviewed, Saul 3 and Saul 4. And he felt that, they were a standalone movies. They're not the greatest, but, when you talk them in the series and as a whole, it works a lot better. So I want to thank everybody out there who took the time, to ask questions and comment and, watch my videos. Thank you very much. Once again, I have a sarcastic, voice. It sounds like I'm being a smartass. I truly mean it from the bottom of my black heart. Thank you very much. You have any other questions, comments, not just for me, for Mike as well, drop them here. Recommendations, requests, hate mail. I'm all about hate mail, love mail, I suppose. Just whatever you guys want to drop it down below. You got suggestions for top 3, suggestions for movies you want me to review, whatever the case may be, wacky questions. We've answered some doozies on here before, and yeah, we deliver the goods. You asked, we'll deliver. So, alright guys, that's all I got. Until next time.